Shalom, Apostle Hawk coming back at you with this truth. This is an update on a video that I did entitled Donald Trump, the End of the World. I think that was the title. Let me just double check. Okay, it was entitled Trump is the End of the World, posed as a question. Anyway, this is a update to that video, and this is an article. I caught it on one of the one of the news stations. I don't know if it was CNN or MSNBC or CNBC or Bloomberg. But what I did was I think I typed in China calls Trump a child, and a number of articles came up. This is from the Daily News. The headline is Chinese newspaper calls President-elect Donald Trump ignorant as a child after Taiwan remarks. It says, a Chinese newspaper writes, President-elect Donald Trump is naive and ignorant as a child for using the decades-old one China policy, and you can look that up in your leisure, as a bargaining chip to threaten China. It says the Global Times issued a stern warning that China would not discount military action in the disputed territory after the Republican indicated he would strike a relationship with Taiwan and disregard the political arrangement to force Beijing's hand at trade. So this guy's not even the president, and he's talking shit. It goes on to say, I don't know why we have to be bound by a one China policy unless we make a deal with China having to do with other things, including trade, Trump said during a Fox News interview Sunday. Well, today's date is December 12, 2016, Monday morning. It says, it goes on to speak about this editorial for the government mouthpiece, said that unlike Trump's business dealings, not everything can be bought or sold. The one China policy is not for selling. Global Times wrote Monday in its English language article. Goes on to say that China needs to launch a resolute struggle with him. And you're dealing with the third world power. At one time you had two world powers. That was the former Soviet Union, which is Russia, known as Russia today, and the United States. Now you have a third world power, which is China, and they have ties with the Russian government. You know, this is gonna be the guy that's gonna lead the world to Armageddon. You know, because this guy is talking shit. You know, even before he's the president. It goes on to say only after he's hit with some obstacles and truly understand that China and the rest of the world are not to be bullied will he gain some perception. And that's all I'm going to read. Yeah, it goes on to say, I'm going to skip a line. It says, he urged Trump to understand the seriousness of the Taiwan issue and to continue to stick to the one China policy. And what I did, I put together a bunch of scriptures. You know, I put maybe 3 or 4 scriptures together, then some more scriptures would pop up my head, then I put them down. So I put it you know, I put a list together of these scriptures, and there's a bunch of scriptures, and more scriptures are gonna come to my mind. So if I were to go into the scriptures, you know, I might be here for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, because when you bring out one scripture, 2 other scriptures come to mind, and out of those 2 scriptures, there a scripture or 2 comes out of that. So what I may do is, we were thinking about on the inauguration of Trump or Donald Trump. You know, we might do a sit down, we might do a live stream. You know, it depends. But this guy, you know, just like China says in the headline, Chinese war newspaper calls President-elect Donald Trump ignorant as a child after Taiwan remarks. So, you know, the world, the earth, the planet, in an oikomany sense of the word, the whole planet, you know, had their eyes glued on this presidential election. And you know, Russia, you know, had their eyes on this whole election process. China, Great Britain, England, Germany, and you know, these superpowers, they already know what's going to happen when this guy actually becomes president. You know, so, you know, I strongly believe that this man is going to lead the world into the war of Armageddon. And I'm going to leave you one scripture. And we'll be talking about this individual, you know, quite a bit in the next, you know, coming weeks. Because when he gets in the office, he's going to move fast. He's going to move fast. You know, this country and the world is going to change. And I can't go into detail as to what he's going to do, exactly what he's going to do. But, all right, it says here in Revelation 16, because I want to leave you with one scripture. Okay, Revelation 16, verse 12. It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared," because these so-called Arab nations will be involved in this war. You know, if you go to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, matter of fact, I'm going to go to that. Ezekiel 38th chapter. Bear with me for 1 minute. Because what you're going to find out is that this book that we read from as Yaqua would say, is the greatest book on the planet Earth. And why is that? Because this book, the scriptures, are filled with nothing but prophecies. And this is why we believe that this is the Most High's book. Okay, I'm going to go to Ezekiel 38, verse 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal." Now you can go to Google and go to ancient maps, ancient biblical maps, and put in the word Gog or Gog and Magog, and then you get an idea as to where these places are located. It says, "The chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord, the Most High, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws," because Trump is trying to get on the good side of Putin and the Russian government. And in the beginning, it'll work out, and then something will happen to turn Russia away from the U.S. President. "And I will bring thee forth and all thy army, horses and horsemen." Your modern day horses and horsemen, is your modern military. All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields. All of them handling swords. The modern day sword is the ICBM missiles. It goes on to say Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya Persia, by the way, is your current day is being referred to as Iran, and that was I forget the individual that went before the UN to ask the UN. I believe it was 1935 to no longer call them Persia or the Persians, but call them Iran. So you can go into the history of that. The fifth verse again, Ezekiel 38, verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. Libya is in northern Africa. Ethiopia is northeast Africa. When I say Africa, the continent of Africa. All of them with shields and helmets. With shield and helmet. Gomar, sixth verse. Gomar and all his bands, all his armies, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Because ultimately, all of the European allies of the United States will join in with Russia to destroy Babylon the Great. So Trump, if he becomes president, if he's actually sworn in and becomes president, he's going to do something stupid and childish to cause all these nations to go against him. It says, 7th verse, be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company meaning armies, that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a God unto them. So these stronger nations, Gog and Magog, which is Russia today, will back up these smaller nations, which also possess missiles. So anyway, let's go back to Revelation 16, verse 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. The dragon refers to the term dragon is interchangeable with the term beast in the book of Daniel and in the book of Revelation. The dragon refers to the first beast, which is the Roman Empire. The current beast is set up by the first beast, which is ancient pagan Rome. And out of the mouth of the beast, the current beast would be NATO and the EU nations, which the EU is slowly breaking up. There was an article that I came across the other day, where it spoke about Italy setting up a referendum to break away from the EU. And out of the mouth of the false prophet, which are your so-called religious leadership, going to the Vatican City, because they all work in conjunction with each other. So we're talking about the Pope, we're talking about the Black Pope. You look that up. Google the word Black Pope, get some information on that. There's an actual Pope, and there's a Black Pope. Anyway, I'm gonna read this again. It says 13, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirit of devils, or for they are the spirits of devils working miracles. They're miracles. When you take out a smartphone, you're doing miracles. You can go to your smartphone. I found out the other day that there's an actual app where if you park your car in a mall parking lot, and you know how you're not sure where you put your car at, there's an actual app that will find where your car is. It says, which go forth unto the kings of the earth. That's why this is going to be called the Third World War, because more than one nation will get involved in this war, the war of Armageddon. And of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of the Most High Almighty. 15 verse, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments. Now the garments mean this information that we have, this knowledge. You have guys that have joined, became members of a Great Millstone and fell off. And what a lot of those individuals do is they go back into the world, or they scoff against, Great Millstone. Then eventually they go back into the world, or they change their doctrine up, and they'll do, countless videos on how we went off on this, and we went off on that, and this means that, and that means this. It says, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. So, the 15th verse is important to the elect, because if you are of the elect, you're going to keep your garments. You're going to keep this knowledge. You're not going to teach that Cornelius is an Edomite, or Edomites can make it, or the mark of the beast is Christianity and an embargo. All right? It says, let me read that again, 15th verse. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, which is this knowledge, lest he walk naked. When you put this knowledge off of you, and they see his shame. And who sees your shame? The ones that are awoke, the ones that have the garments, that kept their garments. 16, and he gathereth them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And when you look up that word Armageddon, it means mountain of troops. Anyway, with that, I'm going to close. And, we've been praying for this place to go down. And if anybody can usher in this war of Armageddon, or a key person, would have to be Trump. There's an old saying, fools rush in. And he's going to be found to be the biggest fool, on the planet Earth. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.